I will look to give a lecture on Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Genesis 39, chapter 1, 39 chapter verses 1 to 19 and 37 chapter 36 verses. When Joseph arrived in Egypt, because he was captured in by Islamic traders and sold to Potiphar, a member of the personal staff of Pharaoh, the king Egypt. The Lord greatly blessed with Joseph, and in his house he was a master. But suddenly what happened? I'll read. Then one day, as he was in the house going about his work, as it happened, no one else was around the time. She came and grabbed him by sleep, demanding sleep with him. He tore himself away, but headed his jacket, slipped off, and she was left holding it as he fled from the house. When she saw she had a jacket and he had fled, she began to screaming when other men around come inside to see what happened. She was crying hysterically. And telling them that fellow Hebrew slave has insulted her. When the husband heard his wife's story, he was very furious. He threw Joseph into the prison, where he kept as a king's prisoner in the chain. But the Lord was with him there too, and he was kind with him by granting him with the chief jailer as the master of the prisoner. So all that the prisoner is responsible to him. The Lord is with him, so that everything goes smoothly and well. This is the story of Joseph. If you read the things in detail, you will find out how that Potiphar's wife had demanding to sleep with her and had adultery with her. But as Joseph was a godly person, a very determined person, God-fearing person, so he neglected her demands and fled away, giving a jacket in her hand, and he fled away. I'll give the details of regarding this adultery. Matthew chapter 18 verses 7. Jesus said, "Oh, upon the word, for all it is evil temptation. It will come inevitable, but woe to the man who does the tempting. So if with your hand go or food comes to you, to do the sin, cut it off, throw it away. Better than in heaven you are having no hands or feet, but you are in heaven, so have the eternal life." Then Matthew chapter 7:20, Jesus said, it is the thought in life comes in the mind, man's heart, evil thoughts, lust, murder, adultery, wanting what belongs to the other, wickedness, unloudness, so and so. Then Luke chapter 70, Jesus said to his disciple, think that people may fall into sin or want to happen, but now terrible is for the one who makes them happen. Then Matthew chapter 5, 27 to 28 onwards. You have heard that it was said, do not commit adultery, but I'll tell you, anyone looks at woman and wants to possess her is of committing adultery with her on his heart, in his heart. Then when Jesus came and telling the Pharisees, he told him, John 8:34, you are the slave of sin, and every one of you. So these are the quotations supporting how about the adultery and how about the sinning this adultery. One of the great sign in adultery, it is loneliness. When he was lonely, serpent came and trapped her in sin. When Cain and Abel was there, or two persons were there, Cain killed Abel. When King David was on the terrace bathing a beautiful girl, he was alone. When Judas hanged himself, he was alone. So there are many examples in Bibles or something. When person is lonely, so evil thoughts, evil thoughts comes into mind, and he grabs the mind of man and lead to the sin. Adultery is immense desire to have the fleshly union with the opposite sex. This sexual desire is a mean to have a fleshly desire to be union with other sex to sex, opposite sex, or some men to men or women to men. That is a different, but it is a fleshly sin, and these sins only sins that God hate the adultery. If you go to St. Paul's letter or something, he says this is better to live a man alone, but it is wrong that he himself engulfed with the fire of desire or something. So he should marry or live alone. But it is better to have stay at alone. But if the fleshly desires is empower him, he should marry, because it will lead him his mission, his determination and goal, ambitions, all the things. So these lectures depict very clear thing why the godly person, why the religious person is avoiding sins. Only thing is that he has a union with God, so he is not alone. Because where we have the lonely, alone or something, so then all the desires, evil desires comes in our mind. Nowadays we got mobile phones, we got laptops, you got TV, you have this all round looking with unmodestly people, girls, women, and even men also. So these are the we can say the virus of these impulses, and that impulses comes in our mind. And Jesus said that it is inevitable. So desires comes and this all the lustly things comes. It is inevitable. But woe to man who tempted to others. And it is like God has gave us this. We are in a place. He said, "You are a slave of a place, slave of a Satan, slave of a sin." So we are a slave of a sin. That is nobody, I or any person in the world. Nobody is very clear. Nobody is holy or something. So everybody is in this fleshly desire. But how to overcome it is a depend on person to person. So when young age or something, 16, 18, 20, 24 or something, so this age is very typical biological desires. So there also in young, I'll give the clues to the young people. These age are it is a biological disturbance, but nothing to worry. It comes and goes. Comes and goes. You have to be with your studies, be with your with the prayers, be with your intention, be with your what job, what project you have taken into it. So many times looking at a woman with a blurring desire or having mentally illusionary sexual thinking or something, that will come everybody's mind. It will not, you cannot destroy it in computer language, you cannot eradicate it. You can eradicate these impulses. The impulses comes in our mind because we are human beings, and because of sin of that you has made, that is we have got that same sin in our soul. So we inclinate to the sin. But this Joseph's story, he was a Canaanite person, and he was very lovely with his father. And father is to tell all the stories of Abraham, Isaac, all the stories of all his. And he taught very perfectly about his monotheism and God, how to adore God, what are the commandments of God, and what God is liking and what is not. He has seen all the things. He has seen that these Canaanite people or Judaism people have more wives, 2 wives, 3 wives, 4 wives, 4 wives. But that means they have wives, but they don't have other relation, extramarital affairs or something. So avoid the extramarital affairs. So they made the law that you should marry that woman or girl or something. So that will not affect to the religion. That is exceptional. That is loophole of law. Because of weakness, even Jesus, one person said that Jesus had allowed to have a second wife or something, but Jesus said it is because you have your bad desires, and and her one desire. So Moses make that laws. It was not from the God, but because of your hardness of heart and desire of your sexual sins or something, he made that law. But God doesn't. Previously, he said one man, one woman, and they will live in one place or something. So he says that adultery is a very furious thing, and we should avoid. Many people are incapable to avoid it. I am a very simple person, so I should not give very big lecture that is I am a saint or I am a very holy person. But by my experience or something, the sin committed with the flesh, it is punished in the flesh, in the word also, and in the eternal words also. So God may give you salvation, God may give you eternal life. So God sin will be punished in the flesh, in the word only. And there are many examples. Even Christian people, other people, I don't want to say anything, but even many Christian people, so those who have two wives or have extramarital affair or something, so they have come into clutches. Even their lives were bitterly critical, and they had to die miserable death or many problems in their families. So it happens many houses or many families. Since I am 54 years old, so I have seen very closely to this persons. So we should be very careful about like the Joseph. Joseph was the very typical example of avoid the adulterous thing. That Potiphar, if I tell the history of Egypt, there were very freeness for the women. They can make up clearly, they can dress up, they can have their hairstyle. So they can marry early as so they can read and write and all something, because there was very freeliness in Egypt. If you see the pictures of the original pictures on the wall or something, we can see that they got very freely. So that Potiphar's wife has given it very freely. She can dress up nicely, she can have curly hair or many things or something, and she can move in the men. Many societies there is very typical things, they cannot move into the men, so they can freely move in their home with the men and women, and they can go to visit the houses or something. So that made that lady to have a possessive desire. And as he was well built, Joseph was a well built and very handsome, well built and very handsome person. So naturally she attracted with his beauty, and as he was a slave, so she was in her mind that she thought he will come into his desire, because she has got a power, or she will throw it away. So that the pressure of that line, she was trying her level best, since he was in her room. But as the Joseph had strong knowledge, strong literature, strong ideas from his father, mother, and his family, his background. Sorry, as his background, he knows. She said, It is a very, it is a, how can I do such a wicked things as this? It will be great sin against God. And again repeat it. How can I do such a wicked things as this? It will be great sin against God. He was not fearing of his Potiphar, his master. He was not fearing of his this slavery. He was not fearing his, he will cut pain to death or something, cut to death or something. But he was fearing of God. So we should have fear of God. We should have the presence of God. We should have the link with the God. Every moment, when we are alone, when we have a so situation, fleshly situation or sinful situation or that we can say the virus of sinning or implication that we see the more unavoided pictures, unavoided dresses, unavoided many times in the movie also. I think 30% that material they put illicit material they put in the TV camera as they cope up with their scene or theme of picture, but it has nothing to do with that picture, but to attract the people. They know that there is a one mind in the family or people or something. They want to see in secretly this type of movies. So they put at the 30%, 30% they put material such competing each other, so people can attract, and because of that attraction or something, many people comes to see the movie. So in my life, I'll tell you very frankly, I have seen only two movies. Only two movies I have seen, because I was learning. They say it is to see the movie also seen. So in my life I was in Bombay, but I have seen only two movies in my life. And in my this daily routine also I seen religious movies or any other nice movies who has got not 99% illicit material in it. And we go to preaching to the people, we go to social work to the people, I go to the hospital also. So I have got 2-3 degrees, so I use up in serving the people. So we keep in our very clear eye. So if you see such a something, this we avoid it. We avoid the things, we avoid the look, we avoid the parallel people, friends and all the things, so they can make you sane or give you talking or chatting, all the things. You have to avoid, you have to take the other look, or you have to change the subjects. So if you do this, we how he said that it would be great sin against God. So always we think in our mind, if you does, because we are fleshly person, we are slave to sins, so it is naturally happens. So we always say that sin is against God, and God is everywhere. God is our main source. He is a creator of us. He is a creator of. So we should fear the God. So we definitely not sin. That is what.